What's up, boys? Welcome to episode 3, the Locker Room Life podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Frank. As usual, my boys Jay and Logan meeting right here, right now for all of you. We got a great episode obviously coming up, but as we always do, flying around with the boys and doing a little catch up. So, guys, what's going on?
Fuck, boys, I'm just trying to keep buzzing. Boys, so glad to get this episode out. David Nerman, as you could probably see from the beginning, CEO of CUTSHIELD. Super pumped to do it, but I mean, my boring life, just working on my tape company, working on this, working on the podcast, getting ready for what we're going to talk about soon. Let's Play Hockey Expo, biggest hockey expo in the world, by the way. So, yeah, just trying to make sure everything's in line and preparing for this week.
Logan, I think you probably should have told us about your weekend too, you know?
Oh, how could I forget that? I had the pleasure of going to the Stadium Series this weekend. 95,000 people, boys, watching hockey inside of the second biggest stadium in North America. Just absolutely apeshit crazy. The Jets did a flyover. I was crying. Not a big deal. It was magical for sure. A lot of influencers out there. Didn't get the chance to pull any of them over and give them some tape, but it was a great experience nonetheless. Was there out with hockey players in business. It's a big organization. They had a tailgate before. It was a fun day of hockey. It was awesome.
What's it like watching the game from in the big house?
It's nuts. I mean, like I was literally sitting in that same spot watching Indiana play Ohio State, like not even 2 months earlier. So it's just like, it's wild to see that many people. That was the most people I've seen in that stadium other than for like a Morgan Wallen concert. Like it's just, it's absolutely nuts. Obviously they pack it for Ohio State, Michigan, but they treated it like it was Ohio State, Michigan. Like it was so cool. They did all the stuff. They brought out, like they did the walk from the rink or from the old rink, and they do like a big like band thing, and Johnny Gaudreau, his wife and his son, they were walking over. They led the Jackets over. It was cool. It was awesome.
I got a question on your guys' thoughts on whose kit looked better, because I'm not gonna lie, both of them looked insane.
I gotta go to Detroit. It's where my dad's from.
Logan,
you know, I want to say the helmets of Detroit were better, but those jerseys of the Jackets were just so spicy, along with the pants. I mean, just whew.
I like the Detroit pants. They say Hockey Town on them.
Yeah, they were nice. I'm just a little biased.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like the fact that they finally figured out to have the numbers bigger, because when you're in a football stadium and trying to look from the distance of watching from a normal hockey stadium is completely different. It's like people are like, what number is that guy? So
another thing
cool that they kind of figured that out as they kind of have these things going on.
Yeah, a big thing like that is they had speakers like surrounding the ice rink, like at the stadium. So every every turn, every hit, everything you heard like around the stadium. It was pretty crazy.
Boys, let's play. Super excited. All the boys will be out there. It's a cool little event. My whole excitement about this event is that I've always wanted to go to the Minnesota high school tournament. Obviously playing prep in Canada was always like an anomaly that everybody always talked about, the energy, obviously like the quality of play with, obviously the next crop of players in those high schools. But I mean, I'm super pumped, guys. I mean, we're just to have us together. We're going to get out there, shoot some content, be able to kind of do some things on the fly with the boys. So yeah, super excited to see you guys in person.
Aw,
Frank, how was your weekend?
Oh, just went out to good old Las Vegas, City of Sin, to play another tournament, which I thought was going to be a redemption tour of the Throwback Classic that didn't really go our way, but it was fun. As you can tell, as this story goes, that it didn't start with we won a championship and I'm happy. It started with the reconcilable voice of it was fun. It was fun to be with the boys, which it always is, but I just fucking hate losing, boys. I just do, and it sucks. And I mean, we played some pretty good teams. We should have won. We won the first game. Played a team from California. The second game, we played a team from Idaho. Ironically, they were actually pretty good. Everybody had a motor on them, so there wasn't like overlining skill on each one of them, but they just had a motor. Like I'm talking active sticks on you every time you're trying to get anything going. But Saturday, or I'm sorry, at that time it was Friday afternoon in Vegas. The last thing you want to do is just be skating as hard as you can up the ice, and a guy's just like chopping you the whole way down. But we ended up losing that one 3-2. Potted one. I potted one late, but we needed to win our last round robin game to get in. We ended up losing that one, but again, always fun to be with the boys. Saw a bunch of guys that I hadn't seen in a while, so it was always nice to get together and have fun. So other than that, always good to get out there and play. So, Zams, love you, boys. Jay, what about you?
Oh, I can't even remember. I actually did I have like this crazy running race I'm supposed to be doing in like a month, and I haven't really been training that much. So luckily I had gotten an email to remind me that I signed up for this little mini triathlon on Saturday, last Saturday.
Big deal.
So I did that. It was pretty sick. It was like on this army base that's like in town, and they just like kind of let you in the gate and have a course, and you like ride and run on the runways. And then there's a pool. You do some laps in the pool, and it's reverse. So it's run, bike, swim. But it was great. I felt so good. I was very surprised. Yeah. Did like 33rd place overall out of like, there was like 300 that did the try, and then a whole bunch of people just do a couple of the running races. So I was pretty psyched on that. Yeah, felt good. And then just chilled with the fam on Sunday. We got a big game tonight, though. Big game. Big game.
Boy.
Oh, big here he is.
35 plus league. 35 plus. Logan, you won't be there for
wouldn't be eligible for that one, boys.
35 plus championship game tonight, boys.
There it is. All the marbles.
Back next week. We'll report back next week with a W for the boys.
Please. Oh, boys. Please. Somebody win a damn championship. I mean,
somebody's got to hoist a cup around
here. Somebody's got to bring the cup to the pod. Let's just do it, guys. Let's just jump back to the Let's Play event. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about. Are you excited? What's up?
Logan's got the real deal. Logan's going to be the real deal guy at Let's Play, with the booth, slanging tape, signing contracts,
doing caricatures. Logan, just talk about it, bud. Don't be bashful.
Boys, don't put me on the spot like that. No, it's I'm really, 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 really excited to go to this. Speaking of suiting it up, fellas, I was just telling you before we started doing this, on my way out to Minnesota on Thursday, there's just skate with all the vendors. A couple of the influencers are going to the event. We'll be there too. So see the big fella put on the skates again. Hopefully we can get some content. Hopefully I don't burst a lung while I'm out there as well. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to playing. I think it's going to be a great time. And I mean, the expo days, you have to go there, literally set up. It's a grind. You're at your table from 10 to 6 p.m. all day, talking to little kids, talking to parents, trying to make deals happen with other people who are vendors at the same time. So it's pretty crazy. We're doing like a wheel spin giveaway for like the first day, just like pretty basic, but come by, win some wax, win some tape, win some merch, other cool trinkets and stuff we're giving away. And the second day is the really big day on Saturday. We rented a caricature artist. It'll be a little different. Hopefully we get some funny people. I can't wait to see Frank and Jay's heads blown up on a BDT skater. It's gonna be super cool. I'm excited to get everyone there. Hopefully get some cool people come by the booth. And yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And I know Frank mentioned it earlier, but holy hell am I excited for Minnesota high school hockey as well. It's gonna be electric. Boys, the tickets are only $20. No wonder they sell out so fast. It's crazy.
Everybody's been just scaring me. This guy I played pickup with, Bob. Shout out to Bob. 60 plus. This guy's a legend. He's just, the first thing he asked me, not like, hey, I'm happy for you. He just said, did you buy tickets yet? I'm like, Bob, dude, you're fucking killing me right now. Like, you're scaring me. But like, then he's like,
they drop tomorrow.
He's like, they sell out. He's like, they sell out. You got, and then he just gave me the, like,
yeah,
are you laughing at me because I'm just a poor, sad, unknown person in this process? Or
it's nuts. They're like a sneaker drop. I think they drop tomorrow for the game on Friday night. But on top of that, You'll see the three of us, the three Stooges, the three Musketeers, whatever you want to call us. We'll hopefully try and get out in the ODR and provide a little bit of
I
funny
like to call us Line 4.
Perfect. Dude.
That's a great one, actually.
Oh,
Yeah. So we're gonna get some
scratches.
The Hanson brothers. We're just gonna rip around out there. I might body check Jay into the snow a few times.
It's funny that you say the Hanson brothers, because like it would be like we'd be like, yeah, we're the Hanson brothers, and then like our walkout song is like Mbop. Like the wrong Hanson brothers.
Just be like, no, dude.
No, wrong idea.
Yeah, we're nice guys. Anyways.
Oh my god, dude. I forgot about
got Charles to our left. Don't worry.
I tried to block out my memory that those dudes actually existed. That's freaking amazing. But
well, if you anyways at Let's Play, look for Frank and I.
Yep.
We'll be roaming the grounds.
You'll see them, boys.
We will not have a booth, but we will be there. And
you'll see them.
Be noticeable. But hit us up if you see us. We've got some discount codes and a couple things to hand out if you see us. But give us a shout.
Yeah, super excited also for all of us we've had a lot of really great conversations with a lot of great people, influencers, people in the hockey community. So really excited to kind of put a lot of names to faces. It's all about the experience. It's kind of what we always talk about, right? Like building the community. So we're super excited to see everybody in person. Yes.
Whoop. And then, I mean, just what a perfect segue to where we will also be seeing David Nerman at Let's Play. Make sure to check out his booth as well while you're there. But boy,
what is his booth?
CUTSHIELD Hockey. I'm not sure the location of the booth in the place, but just what an awesome interview. Just such a great guy, great human being. Really has such a meaning for being involved in the game. It's awesome. I can't wait for you to hear the story. Just a forewarning, just want to give everyone a heads up. I had a little bit of technical difficulties in the middle of this podcast. So just forewarning.
Logan appears and disappears maybe once or twice, but honestly, it was an insane conversation. This guy is just the fucking coolest. He's so cool. I feel like I was getting all emotional and worked up. I mean, He's got a crazy story. His life story is just insane, and he's just basically given everything to his passion, which is becoming essentially saving lives, preventing bad things from happening to people on the ice, and then fucking donating his brain to science.
Yep.
The man's can do no wrong in my eyes. I went straight inside and talked about him to my wife for like another hour. And it was awesome. Very, very, very great conversation. Super stoked we got to talk to him.
It's kind of like we always talk about, and we talk about it in the interview, but the whole reason why we're doing this also is to always partner with a lot of really great people that have a purpose. He talks about it in the interview about timing, and kind of in life, right? Like a lot of events happen for a reason, good, bad, or indifferent, but they kind of form our path and where we want to be and the things that we do to make us better people and to kind of have a purpose. So David's amazing, like Jay said and Logan said. It was an honor to have him. And I guess without further ado, CUTSHIELD Hockey CEO and really great guy, David Nerman, brought to you by Buddy Hockey Club, Best Damn Tape, Bambino Shave Cream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Locker Room Life podcast. Excited for our guest today, an innovator in the hockey industry. CUTSHIELD Hockey is his company, but I think his personality is way bigger than that. Honored to have David Nerman joining us today on the show.
Well, hey, you kidding? Thank you for having me, for sure. Yeah. And just for everybody, just so you know where I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's David knows hockey. By that show of Team Canada, he knows hockey. So,
oh yeah, I love that. Unbelievable, But
so I mean, there's so many obviously places to start and things to talk about, but I just wanted to kind of first have you to talk about the company, kind of everything that's going on right now, and then we can kind of go back into the exciting journey and kind of you and everything.
Yeah, it's because there's a real story behind it. I think Logan knows a little of it, and it's funny because I don't really share the whole history and how I got to where I'm at, because I was an actor for 30 years, and then my second career is this. But the company, I founded the company 14 years ago. I saw Markov get clipped in Montreal by Price, and I was playing 5 days a week, and I went, why isn't there a hockey song that protects? And that was kind of like the blink, the eureka moment. And I started researching, and I kept finding fibers, Kevlar. And, I knew nothing about fibers, and all I kept reading about. So I go onto sites of military guys, and they were all going, how do I wash this? And what do I, and so I was finding out that Kevlar kind of good product to stop bullets, but I didn't know about cut resistance. And I found a company that had a white yarn, and in 10 days I was in the NHL, and that was 14 years ago. And I have to say that, and Logan and I have talked, because Logan's an unbelievable entrepreneur, and if I could pass on what I've kind of learned along the way to him, I'd gladly do that. And it's been, I would say, 12 years of education of people going, oh, why do I need it? Who needs this? And then unfortunately with the death of Adam last year, it all changed, and now there's 60 companies that are flogging materials and protection that, some of it's dangerous, honestly. And that goes for the big boys. I'm not afraid to say that the Bauer and CCM, I'm disappointed. I think that these boys should be doing a better job and using their choice to not to. And I don't know why not, but I'll never do that. We're the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I continue to be the Ferrari.
Yeah.
And to innovate, So it's been, I love it. It keeps me in the game. I've had 9 documented concussions that they know of. I've donated my brain to Boston University so that when I pass, they'll look for CTE, help others. I go every year for testing to see if there's a way that whatever they discover in me, that they could help others. So, this keeps me in the game rather than playing. So it's fun. It's fun. And listen, I've saved 35 NHL players and kids in lower leagues. So I'm proud of that. Really proud of that. So we're going to keep at it. And I'm
That's
going to
amazing.
do it until probably my last breath. And then I'll be thrown on the ice by powder, powder, make the boys slip. But
what you've been doing just throughout the past 14 years is just unbelievable. I mean, unmatched feeling of being able to protect players at all levels and working with these guys. But how did your hockey journey shape where you wanted to go in the company? I know it started in Montreal, but I know that you mentioned your son played, correct?
No, he didn't actually. He was a hockey player, wasn't very talented, kind of like how I was at the beginning. But that's the thing. I was the best hockey player. So I'd go out and I'd practice. I ended up becoming one of the best skaters and being a captain and assistant captain by hard work. But my boy got into soccer.
Nice.
And I'm kind of glad he did, because of the cost of hockey, to be honest. The gloves and shin guards are, but no, my journey, I've always been playing. I mean, I started skating here in Montreal. I mean, we're Canadian.
Yeah.
And, I started skating when I was 3 years old. And then I just would always play. And I was playing. So I had my last concussion when I was 51. I think I'm 65. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'd probably still be playing, honestly, just because it's in our blood. And I think when we play, it's that. I mean, I grew up across from 5 ponds, they're outdoors. And I tiptoe over, across the street in my skates, and I play hockey till, friggin' 8 in the morning till 8 at night, till the parents call you in,
Yep.
Frozen. And
What a dream.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. So it's just funny because I was an actor for 30 years, and the first role I got was playing a professional hockey player.
I know. I've seen you in Goon.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was the guy with the mask and a zipper. Sorry, that's a different.
That's him.
Yeah, sorry. Um, no, there was a TV show we had here in Quebec called called Lancer Compte, which means he shoots, he scores, and it was based on the Montreal Canadiens. But the Canadians wanted too much money for us to use the rink, so we switched over to being the Nationals du Quebec. So we were a Quebec-based professional hockey team, but we were all based on Canadian hockey players, like the Montreal Canadiens. I have a picture with the Stanley Cup because we won the Stanley Cup. And that was listen, we had 19,000 fans. It was when the Nordiques were playing the Boston Bruins, and we had 2 minutes in the first period before they did the ice to go on the ice with the cup and pretend we won.
Wow.
That's
It was a dream, right? For any hockey fan to grab, to touch the cup and to have a picture with it. Listen, there's a lot of boys that have never touched it. And here I am, just some friggin' actor. And I got to play a professional, So I've always been in hockey. And I think that, my journey, and I'll go back a little ways because as I said, I was an actor for 30 years. I was married to a beautiful, beautiful woman, and we went our separate ways, but we were really close. And I was still acting. And then she unfortunately got cervical cancer. So I basically walked away from my career to help her and be with my son while we tried to save her. And unfortunately, she passed at 39 years old. And I walked away from acting to be a stay-at-home father. I was doing a series in New York, and that was the end of that for me. But then my second career was the hockey, which, it's crazy, actually, because it's such a passion. I think that, I believe in timing. I believe that things happen for reasons. And I think that Guylain's journey, as tragic as it was, me taking care of our son and everything, and then just having that, that blink, I call it, which, got us started. And I'll, like I said, I'll continue to do this for as long as I can, for sure, And what, I brought some of the stuff, boys, because I don't, I'm sure that you saw what I do and stuff, but one of the things, and I just, so I keep saying play gray. And because a lot of times you see a lot of the pros wearing it, and I didn't brand it. I branded it on the foot because they'd play soccer and they'd roll it down and they're paid by other companies. So I went, you know what, screw this. So now everyone, when they see gray peeking through the shirt, they go, oh, that's CUTSHIELD Hockey. And what makes us stand, apart from everyone else is the fact that you could wash our stuff like a regular garment. It doesn't degrade, and we have testing to prove everything. And that's the thing that I think a lot of companies don't do, and I wish they would do it, is I'm very transparent. And I make sure you get cut tests. Like, I'll send you gear, Frank, and you'll get a cut test. You'll get a NHL clearance letter. You'll get the wash test. You'll see exactly what you're getting. Because, it's not like, and I think for a lot of companies, they play the odds, which is, what are the chances of you getting cut? Me, I think you'll get cut. So that's how I work, so it's a little different. But listen, I think that, and I don't know if you play Jay or not, but, I'll gladly send you gear and you guys will test it yourselves.
Jay plays, David. Don't you worry. Jay plays.
Oh, yeah. Wait. What's that? Okay. Tell me about this.
I just like to send Logan clips every single day of anything that I do out there on the ice.
Yeah. We love hockey. I mean,
I also have to throw this in there because I got the pass to get on and record today, even though I'm doing daddy daycare. But my wife, I think biggest fear is skate cuts. Oh, right. And I never, you think about it, you see it, it's happened in the game. It's one of those things you hate to think about, right? So you kind of just don't most of the time. But it's true. I think I just had a kid this year, and my wife brought it up again, especially after the terrible happenings last year. So I ended up getting a kit of stuff from some other brand that we don't need to talk about. But it does offer some sense of security, I suppose. It's weird that I never thought about it all the years, but
No one did though. But
Yeah.
because, I mean, listen, I go back to playing in the 70s and no one was getting cut. Like
Yeah.
we didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, I think one of the things that is disturbing is the kids. I mean, I say that like I wouldn't want to see you, Jay, or anyone get cut, right? But we handle it differently. We've all been stitched from whatever. But some of the pictures I get, at first I was like, oh my God, because I felt like a doctor because it was open wounds and it was gross. And at first, but now, and I'm not desensitized. That's not what I'm saying, but I could look at a picture now and I could see an open wound and I don't get as grossed out, but it's happening too often. And it's like what you said, Jay, we don't think about it. But it's like blades are getting sharper. They're, you could do it at home. I mean, you could sharpen your blades at home. I mean, and you flip them out. So you're constantly getting a new blade. So it's happening and a little too much. But I think, I think it's smart that you put on, something. I don't know what you're wearing. It doesn't matter because it's better than nothing. We all have to go to work the next day. And one of the things that I think is most disturbing is I always ask about the mental recovery to the kid. Never mind the stitches. Stitches, we get stitched, but it's the recovery. And how is that going to affect them through, getting back to play a game we love and also just their mental state for anything else, that being afraid and not wanting to take a chance or something. So, it's not just cut, there's a ripple effect, right? Yeah.
David, a question about kind of rewinding back to, when you started the company and kind of had this vision of building this, what was the key moment? Because essentially you probably were thinking about it for a while, right? Probably just observing the game, looking at, obviously some different things from a safety perspective. And what was that one moment where you're like, look, I need to really step in here and I really want to be a part of building something to help hockey players?
I'm laughing, Frank, only because I never had what you just spoke about.
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that one moment of seeing Markov get cut by his own player.
Wow.
And I just went, it was like, seriously, it was like that eureka moment. Why isn't there a sock? And that was it. And then, but it's amazing because, and I'm sure, Logan, you've gone through this, and for any entrepreneur, people go, oh, who needs this? Why are you doing this? What a waste of time. All the negative. There is a book called Blink, and it's about listening to your gut. And I didn't give up. I mean, people kept saying, who needs this? No one needs this. I sat with Reebok. I sat with Bauer. I sat with all the big boys. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But no one thought it was necessary. But I didn't give up because something I knew I thought if I came out with a sock that didn't feel like it was cut resistant, then players wouldn't mind it, right? Like if it, that's the thing, right? If you say, oh, this is a cut resistant skate sock, and I think Jay, as well as you guys, the rest of you know, there's socks that get itchy, they're heavy, and you go, I'm not going to wear it. It's a piece of crap. And I totally understand. But then we were fighting all that bad stuff that came on the market after I did, because everyone's going, oh, you're Kevlar. I go, no, we're not Kevlar. It's white. At the time when I first started, it was white. And they'd hold it up on national TV and go, this Kevlar sock. And I'm going, oh, gee, it's not Kevlar. But people are used to. But I think what amazes me is that people still do not realize that this is out there. Not just my gear, but, other competitors. And that's like when I was in Las Vegas at the tournament, I had parents going, oh, we didn't know this existed.
Yep.
So it is always education. And getting the word out there. And of course, realizing that it's not all the same, and that things are made differently. There's different levels. And my skate sock is a cut level A6. This is the highest cut level on the market today. But one of the things, I mean, it's just, and I'll try and show you, but I think if I hold it up, I don't know if you could see, but it's a thin sock.
That's nice.
So it's very different. But as I said, if you didn't say to someone, oh, it's cut resistant, because people have this thing in their head. It's it's funny because the Kings, I don't mean to keep, but the Kings approached me years ago to do a liner in
Yep.
game stocks. And we came out with one that was a cut level 4, and it was an ounce. And the boys thought it was too heavy. This is
Yep.
the mentality you're dealing with, right? So they'd sew it in, and then they wouldn't say anything. And then they'd say, "Oh, you had," and then they go, "Oh, well, it felt heavy." Like,
Yeah.
they get any
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah.
any
Yep.
excuse,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's hockey players, right? Like the one thing, the smallest minute detail can just completely throw us off. But again, like you said, it's really the mental side of it where if you're not thinking about it and if you were to do a side by side comparison and just put it on, probably would feel the exact same. And I think, again, I remember to go back to some horrible events that happened. I remember when Carlson's Achilles got cut by Matt Cook when he went in the corner and he stepped on the back of his Achilles and tore his Achilles. And I was like, oh God, that was kind of, I think there was grumblings about it, about cut resistant. And I know when he came back, he was like, he's wearing cut resistant socks and he's taking a lot of different precautions. He was even pulling his socks.
He's got David socks.
Yeah.
He's pulling his socks down behind the tendon guard, which is helping him out as well. But obviously, horrible events cause teams to be more open to it. But even previous to last year, were you seeing that the league was coming around to the fact of having that as part? Nope. They were still just
because think about it. Kane got cut.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I remember that on his wrist.
On his wrist, and you saw him going off the ice, and you saw the fear in his eyes, and saw,
And who was that? Patty Maroon that stepped on him, right?
Yeah, I think so. Was it?
I think it was Maroon, and he was. I mean, you could see everybody's concern.
Oh, of course.
He's going, "Oh,
absolutely.
Shit! What did I just do?" And like an accident, but checking in on him. You heard about that too. He's calling to make sure he's doing okay afterwards. I mean, it's a freak. That's insane.
Yeah.
What was after that incident, and we always thought it would take a star to make people realize, and it's for someone to get hurt. And believe me, I never wished that. But after Kane was cut, I went, okay, like people realize how serious this is.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Guys would, I'm going to show you. So actually, I'm going to go on my phone because there's something I want to show you, because this is, I think when you see it, you're going to kind of go, what? So I want to show you what my gear does. I turned on my phone, so I have to restart. So bear with me.
No worries.
I do have to say, after I got all of the stuff that I have, the unders, like the the top and the pants are fine and comfortable enough. It wasn't like I had to get used to them, but the socks are much thicker than the socks I used to wear. So I do still use both. And I feel like when it's going to be a little bit more of an intense game, I'll wear the cut socks.
Okay.
When it's not, I want to stay with my thin socks.
Well,
but normally things like don't really get to me, which is really funny too, because Frank, I always buy new gear. I'm like a gear, like I just have a gear. Anything new, I want to try it.
Yeah.
Some people never switch gear their whole lives. My elbow pads have been my elbow pads since I've been 10 years old, but everything else, pretty much all new. So normally that stuff doesn't get to me, but I also didn't wear socks at all until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that was a big change. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a big change for me. So now
it's a huge change. Well,
thicker sock that's a little waterlogged after the game. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm interested.
I was a barefoot skater in leather boots.
I love that.
And then I came up with this idea of a sock, but I was barefoot. And then I said, ooh, I better start wearing socks.
Yeah.
Which was weird. It was weird. And I totally understand. So what I came out with is a tube for the barefoot the boys,
Yeah.
Love it.
So, well, the thing is that I do custom work. See, I'm a small company. So it's like, for instance, Toronto Maple Leafs, 3.5 double for Marner, 4-inch, 5-inch for Matthews, 8-inch for Shark goalies, 4-inch for Buffalo Sabres. I can do that, and I will do it. It's like Jason McMaster from the Jets said, our shot blockers are getting cut the Velcro. Can we do something? So we
I saw
worked
that.
together. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I created A6 material on top of the Velcro. And I got in touch with Jason, said, so how's it going? And Jason said, David, you wouldn't believe,
No way.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And that's just basically an accessory to hold on a different company's accessory.
Yeah.
Or
And
something.
I'm coming out with cut resistant skate laces.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Saving lives.
Yeah.
So David,
Putting on
maybe it's a
new
good time to
laces
maybe it's a good time to go through kind of the full gambit of products, like kind of walk us through.
Okay. I do
kind of
want to
everything.
show you one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah, I
see
can
that?
see it.
The wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's Adam Johnson's teammate 3 weeks after he died. He put on my wrist guards, and that night he was stepped on.
Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
And they said to me, I got a text, and they said, your works. This guy has a baby on the way. He is a young kid. I know. Yeah. Well, Jay, I mean, even talking about it,
I know. Yeah.
so what he was wearing is this. So my gear at A6 has saved guys, but I'm always thinking, what if? And so with my wrist guards, what I did was I have a set that are double layered. So these are 2 layers. These are A9 cut level. This is highest cut level there is. It's above an A9, but there's no other level. And basically, that's what he was wearing. And it just is a beautiful slight compression, but it doesn't, it doesn't impede. It doesn't get hot. I mean, the boys are my guinea pigs. Matthews wouldn't have scored 70 goals if my wrist guard was hot. He wouldn't be wearing it.
Yeah.
Period. Nobody, I don't pay anyone. They wear it because they like it. So, I have this that is A9. I do for kids, A9.
Yep.
That little kids could put on their ankles or on the wrist. Okay. Because I can't imagine a kid. I came out with a 7-inch wrist guard. This is single layer, A6. It's just a different feeling. The boys want it thinner, and I give them thinner, and it gives them more protection. They sew it onto their elbow pads, some of the guys,
Yeah.
So David, for reference, the number matrix, is it lowest number, low to high in regards to resistance?
It is. So how they test, and I'm going to sound really smart here, but it's acting. But basically, it goes from A1 up to A9. And it goes by the weight it takes to cut through a piece of material, right? The force. So the force that on an A9, I believe, is over 7,000 newtons. Like I said, I sound smart. But basically, it takes a lot of weight because you're looking at a 200-pound guy, right? Stepping, pushing, because it's not just the blade. And people, a sharp blade does damage, but it's the blade that's been skated on that has the...
Okay. Can I jump in real quick? You guys want this conversion?
Oh,
7,000 newtons. It's 1,500 pounds.
Wow.
wow. Okay.
7,000 newtons is
Got some heavy boys up in the Euro League.
Yes. And that's the Canadian. It's the Canadians.
You have to think it's not just standing, like your standing weight, is whatever you weigh, obviously. I mean, the force that you can put down if you were to be stepping like in stride on something is going to be significantly higher. So 1,500, it says 1,573. That's substantial. I mean, that's incredible.
I mean, just one thing. Sorry for technical difficulties there. So my bad, guys. My computer just absolutely bombed on me. But I've gotten cut by skates on my wrists. That's it's happened to me twice in my life. And I just think just the traction that you obtained right off the rip, like I'd love to hear a little bit about that. Like you said, within 10 days, you were in the NHL and being used by all these guys, which is unbelievable.
It wasn't all the guys, but I got to tell you, because Pierre Gervais, who was the equipment manager for the Montreal Canadiens, I mean, probably like the top equipment manager, Stanley Cup, like he'd been there for 26 years. And when I showed up with my bag of samples And I said, this is what I do, da, 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 like a little innocent friggin' seriously. And he went, we'll take all of them. I'm like, oh, this is good, And at the time, it was a level 3, which they changed the testing. So it was a 3 out of 5, I believe. I don't remember, but now it goes up to 9. But it was, and I saved guys in that. And the first NHL player I saved was actually a Montreal Canadian. And I was being interviewed for a newspaper, and we went to the forum, the Bell Center, and they said, yeah, Travis Moan wants to talk to you. He had a skate go over his ankle in your sock. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, he got cut. He got cut. He's like, yeah. Like, because we test, but we can't test the angle going this way, that way, the whole thing.
Mhm.
And he came out and he showed me a bruise. So it was between the bottom of the shin guard and the top of the boot, which is very common, right? That little gap.
Mhm.
And he was stepped on. It was against Boston. And the guy stepped on him and pushed off. And he had a red mark and a bruise. And he said, so how does this work? And he was the first one. And then from there, Gervais told Florida, and then Florida. So you know what? The boys, and that's how it works.
Mhm.
Because these guys are constantly getting inundated with best new product. Oh, I got the best skate socks. I got the best this. I got the best that.
Damn tape.
I mean, best damn tape. They will soon. Okay. So it got, what do you call it? Traction.
Yep.
But it's really interesting because, and I was really happy to hear this because I was with Trois Rivières, the ECHL team of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the equipment manager knows my stuff because he was with Toronto. And he said, we've tested your stuff. We know. So they don't take my word, which I'm happy about, right? They do their own due diligence, and they are huge fans of mine. I saved 3 of their prospects this year in my
That's
gear.
awesome.
Yeah. So it was the start. I never planned for this to happen. I loved playing hockey, but it was kind of like, I've always been a closet inventor, if you might say that, because I've always had ideas. And I think coming from the arts, I've always been creative. And I've always looked at things and go, well, how can you make something better? But this was totally out of my realm. I mean, I knew nothing about cut resistant fibers. I didn't know about knitting. And I kept reading and educating myself. And now I could have a good conversation about cut resistant fibers and what's out there and what we're trying to achieve and what we're trying to do. And like the laces. I did the laces 12 years ago and no one wanted them.
Yeah.
They're like, so I put them aside. Florida Panthers go, hey, Dave, have you thought about doing cut resistant laces? I was
like,
Teddy, are you friggin' serious? I said, I did that 12 years ago. They lose a full shift, right? So in one shift, he lost 2 players, 2 of his top players, one shift. So can you imagine 7th game of the Stanley or the 4 Nations overtime, right? And this thing happens. So, it's going to be really cool to see how it's how people react to it and what they think about it. So it's fun doing that and being creative.
I just put in new laces and then got cut in a game. And
I was going to say,
Jay, let me ask you something. How thick is your tongue of your boot? Are you like is it thin, or do you have
I have the standard. I have
okay.
He has the Kevlar guard on the front.
These guys.
Okay. Because the pros, it's like a sneaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's that thin.
Oh.
Yep. I love that tongue. I love the thin tongue.
So do I.
Yeah, well, they cut pretty easy. I saw a cut on a player, 5 stitches on the top of his foot.
Oh
yeah, right through. Went through the laces, went through the top of the boot, so great, and that's the thing, right? Because they're always trying to go thinner, lighter, shaving their helmets, taking Steve Ott. Oh my God, Steve Ott came to me and he loved my gear. Do you know he wore no foam or anything on the back of his shin guards? So he was
you a psychopath?
Yeah. A little different, but they told me he came off the ice. He was cursing and bitching, and he's going, and he felt a burning sensation. Well, and he was in my sock. So on the back of his leg, so if this is the back of his leg, he had a red mark running all the way down and no cut because the guy. So Steve got traded. I get a text. I don't know who this is. I go, who are you? He goes, Steve Ott. I go, oh. He goes, so I said, I'll send you some socks. But I said, oh, I'm going to send you some material that you could sew into your pants as well. Because Dion Phaneuf got cut there, and then Dion would send material to Reebok, and Reebok would sew it in. And so Steve had taken a slice in the groin area, and so he sewed it in, and that night took a slice through his pants and not through our material in his in the groin.
Unreal.
I know it's you don't want to, it's yeah.
Especially on the pro level, because I mean, again, resources wise, equipment managers, bless their heart, every second is crucial. Like blades are popping in and out, intermissions, guys are, you lose a little bit of a nick on the edge, walking on a piece of cement, walking off the ice. They're, getting their edges going again. So I mean, it's just the perfect mixture of the highest speed possible running plus the sharpest things that could potentially cut you at any moment. So I mean, it's so scary to think about. And as hockey players, I mean, I think we can all attest to the fact that we don't really think about it until some horrible things happen. And you're like, oh, wait, even in the course of a game, a small game or something where somebody gets hit in an open area, you're like, oh, wow, you can get hurt out here doing this, and we're so mentally dialed in regards to just playing the game and having fun and doing it. But you can get hurt doing it.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Sometimes, it just shows its ugly head.
I just saw somebody. Oh, I guess that was a little while ago.
What was that?
January 23rd. Anthony Richards and Keandre Miller. Anthony Richards on the Flyers got cut by they were coming around the back of the net. And it looks like Richards went down, and as Keandre Miller took a stride, his skate came up and got him in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see, but I mean, a month ago. I, for some reason, just saw the highlight. But
are you guys wearing neck guards?
No.
No, but again, same thing. My wife, just like Jay's wife, my wife is all over me about the neck guard. I'll
send you a neck guard too.
I would wear the ones that's built into the shirt. Like the shirt that, like the undershirt that's got it in there.
Yeah.
I think I would do that. For some reason I didn't get that shirt, and it was maybe the options that I had when I was buying one. But
I'll take care of you, Jay.
there's a few things. There's a few things since we're on the topic I want to just talk about, because I love the slip-on cuffs. So this new shirt I got, it's a little loose on my body. I kind of like the Bauer ones that I normally wear. It's really tight. It's like a compression undershirt, like a true compression one.
Right.
And then this new one I got, it fits looser. It's my size, but I think it's just a loose fitting undershirt. But the sleeves that are whatever fabric they are that are cut, the wrists that are cut resistant are loose too, which feels kind of strange to me in my glove. So when I see what you're making, I'm like, this makes more sense to my hockey playing style,
This kid's stitched up, so you're okay with stitches?
Yeah, we're okay with stitches.
He was wearing a cut resistant garment.
Yeah.
Wild.
So what you're talking about, Jay, is that you go like this, the garment twists, it pulls.
Yeah.
You see, I designed these, my wrist guard. These aren't budging. These aren't moving.
I like that I could wear my tight compression with it too. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All I ever wanted as a kid. I had I'm a lanky person. I'm 6'5". I'm lanky, and I never had elbow pads that would be long enough for me.
Yep.
Yeah. My dad always was makeshifting, sewing some plastic onto the bottom to stop.
Yeah, you guys remember wearing slash guards? Giant. They were like giant sweatbands with a piece of plastic built into them.
Yep.
Like, come on, we're not stick handling in that.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, it's funny because do you guys know Evo Shield for baseball?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was the Canadian distributor, and I bought a crap load of stock because we were going to distribute. And then Wilson bought them, and they patted me on the back and said, "Thanks, you're gone." I had all this stock. I had
Yep.
the wrist guard. So I went, okay. So I took a pocket. I made a pocket in this, and
Yeah.
you slide in the Evo Shield, and you'd form it to your wrist. They wanted to sue me. So I got a call saying, lawyers, we're going to send you a letter. We should have a discussion. I went, sure. And they had their people on from friggin' the States and a guy from Canada. And honestly, I don't give a crap. I go by a vibe, and I couldn't stand these people. I could not. I was like, and they were like, yeah, but I said, well, wait a minute. I said, buy my stock. I said, buy it from me. I said, I own it. I am not saying it's Cut Shield Hockey. I'm saying it's Evo Shield. I'm promoting your brand. Guys loved it. But these guys, then they said, well, maybe you could consult for us. And they sent me an NDA. I signed it. I sent them my NDA. Never heard from them.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so I went, okay. So now I don't use Evo Shield. So I'll send it to you boys as well. I'll send you a slash card. You're going to get a nice present.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
So I'm using a polymer. So a polymer is like a putty.
Yeah.
You hit it, it goes hard.
Yeah. Is it like D3O?
It has actually, in testing, it has better blunt force
Oh, wow.
distribution than, I'm not a fan of D3, and I'll tell you why.
Sure.
It has to be too thick. Like they drop a bowling ball, and that's all great, and it shows that.
Yeah.
This is how I test. I take Henkel kitchen knives, and I cut with my stuff. Yeah. But I always do it on foam because I don't care. I want to know what's going to work. And so with D3O and any material, I take the padding and I take a hammer. It's not very scientific. And believe me, I've nearly broken my hand a couple of times.
I used to have to show D3O testing for a company I worked for that used D3O in their products. So I'm very familiar. And we did use a thick layer of it when we would show.
You have to. Yeah, you have to. And so what I'm sending you is soft, and you could, you put it where you want. You don't have to harden it. And the boys are loving it. I mean, I got a bunch of guys. Yeah. So, it's I love technology. I love innovation. I love learning about fibers and seeing what other people are doing and stuff. I want to show you a new product because, so you talk about injuries. So we had a kid in Toronto. He was stepped on his thigh. The skate went underneath, and I'd say that it was about like that. So I'm going to start doing a thigh protection. So this is what I've made. So this is A6 material, just like my socks. So basically, what you're doing is I've put
I see.
female Velcro in here.
Yep.
To attach to your
short patch, and then you put your game sock on here.
Oh,
what you're protecting is your vertical arch. And you're above the knee. Above the knee is one of the
staying in place from your
and they stay in place. I have goalies without this that are using it over their knee pad. As well.
Yeah.
So to almost be a compression type thing that holds it up.
Yeah, and also because of the Velcro, because the top of the knee is the number one injury. Guys are telling me when the pant rides up. Yeah. So I'll make sure you get these as well. And you could be my guinea pigs. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I'm always coming up with stuff, and some of it doesn't work. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
I mean, it's not all perfect, but then that's how I kind of go back into the kitchen and I go, okay, what'll work? Like for instance, I found, and this is so silly, Velcro loves this, so it kills.
Oh yeah.
Right. So now I'm going to put a black material halfway so that, because you're not looking where you're latching on, so that if you do miss the Velcro, you're not wrecking the material, killing it. You're not going to wreck it. So I'm always going back to the drawing board. I drive people crazy, but I don't care if they don't do it then.
I can't even say enough behind all of that. The fact that you're innovating these things at all different times. It's such a big thing for entrepreneurs to pick up on. Anyone listening, if something doesn't work, you need to figure out what works and what's going to be the best for the next person. And you do a great job of finding every little thing where someone can get cut and trying to do something for it.
Well, you know what I've learned, Logan, is like, listen, I knew acting. I was really good at it. And I was very fortunate. I had a great career. I had a bunch of series and blah, 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 all that stuff. But I didn't know business. I had that. So you surround yourself people that know more than you do. But I have a very, very dear friend, and he's, our conversations go from politics to philosophy. It's crazy, but he's very smart individual. And what he stuck in my head is, he said, "What problem are you solving?"
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is every day. I think about that. When I have an idea, I go, "What problem am I solving?"
Yep.
And it's funny because I'm working on one problem I'm trying to solve, because I hate these neck guards, the shirts that you were talking about. I see kids, the neck guard is here, and then on some kids it's here.
Mhm.
So, and it's just not consistent.
Yep.
Right. And what people don't realize is, if I want my neck guard certified here in Quebec and it is not certified, the neck guard I'm going to send you is an A9 material with tungsten steel. And this thing is just beautiful. Like, you would never know it. But for me to get it certified is $12,000 to $14,000. And how they test is, they take a skate blade, they sharpen it, they hang it from a 215-pound weight and blast it at 15 miles an hour over material 9 times. And they go pass or fail. So I said, well, angle the blade. We can't. We'll use a blade that's screwed up, because that's where the injuries are. We
Mhm.
can't. And CCM and Bauer are on their board of directors. So I am not paying for that, because I use my Hankel kitchen knives.
Mhm.
And when Bauer doesn't even tell you what cut level they are, and doesn't share the information and let people know that you can't put Kevlar in the sun, you can't put it in the dryer, and listen, people have been cut through neck guards. That is a fact. That's not me making up crap. But
Yep.
it's just, what I mean? We have to take responsibility. And a test has to be one that actually is a test that is not a money grab, and that it actually means something. And also to enforce people, like not in the Canadian juniors where they've folded over their neck guard.
Mm.
But meanwhile, it has the stamp of approval that I paid for, but they fold it over, and God forbid the kid gets cut and dies. Oh, he was wearing a neck guard.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, David, because as you know, us growing up in Canada, in Canada, you have to line up on the blue line before the game so that you can do a neck guard check. And everybody's neck guard, especially even if you see it at even the World Juniors, the Canadians that are wearing them, they're still crinkled down, and then they have the clear tape that just like makes it so it's just you've been able to move it. I remember I would just be like, and my neck guard would just be just it was crinkled down because it wasn't comfortable. Or I had the old DNR neck guard.
Oh,
So basically, you just cut I would cut the plastic out because you'd still have the Velcro, but it would still be comfortable to wear. So I think you hit on a lot of just different things in regards to safety is one thing, and people know we're all playing kind of Russian roulette in regards to we could get cut, but I think if it feels good, that's really the name of the game, and
absolutely.
and especially with gloves, as we were talking about products, we all love short cuff gloves. Like, I love it. I love wearing my gloves or my elbow pads a little higher so that your wrists can move, but I mean, you think that's the biggest red zone for just the worst thing that can happen to you. We've all been hit by a puck right there, and you're like, ow, right on that bone. And I'm like, man, if that was a clapper, that would have just broke my forearm, so it's just scary. I want you to expand a little bit more in regards to the other companies that are out there. I don't want to get too far into it, but do you just think it's just another play on the larger companies trying to monopolize the market?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after Adam passed, all these shirts came up. I was, when I was in Vegas, actually, I went into the pro shop, and they want to carry my gear, which I'm very proud of. And anytime someone wants it. And I saw 6 different brands of shirts. I saw War Road. I saw whatever, and I'm going, holy mackerel. Now, again, everyone's using different materials, but really a lot of the people are using the Kevlar.
Yep.
And people are just so stuck on Kevlar thinking it's the best material, and it really isn't. And this isn't, I don't want to get sued by friggin', Honeywell or whatever, DuPont, whatever. But it's just, there's better things out there. But people also, it's a price thing. And that's why, why would you not use a better material if you're able to? And they have the money more than I do. So I don't quite understand their thinking for doing that. But yeah, I think that, and that's the thing, because parents don't do their homework. And I understand that, because they're putting trust in bigger companies as well. And you trust that the bigger companies have your interest, right? What we think they do. They're very good at what they do, for sure, with other things, but I think they could always improve on cut resistance. That's just my own personal opinion. And I'd say it to them, to their faces. I mean, I'd love to have a conversation. I don't know everything. I don't try and pretend I do, but I do think that we have an obligation. You trust your kid in my gear.
Yeah.
You have bought your loved one to be protected so they don't die on the ice or have a serious injury. I don't take that lightly. I got to look in the mirror. In 14 years, I've never lost anyone. Never. I lost a Nashville Predator to a shift. He got guillotined like Carlson in my sock. It compromised a little, because it's supposed to compromise. It's not cut resistant. So the way the fiber works is that it doesn't shred or rip, like it just goes pink. The biggest compromise I've seen is probably a thumbnail, which I wasn't happy with. Okay. And the guy didn't have anything. But this player that was guillotined, what happened after he fell is that the player stepped on him and he got a pressure cut, right? Like how a helmet, right?
Yeah.
And so he took a stitch. But that's just a player.
Like an impact thing. Almost.
Yeah, it's an impact thing. Yeah. So I feel very fortunate that I haven't lost anyone, and that I protected more people than lost.
Well, someone's listening to this and they're not taking away, these key points that I think. You're not making sticks, you're not making skates, you're not making gloves, helmets. You're hyper focused on something that's very important and could be life saving, right?
Yeah.
So really spending all your time and really focusing on what the best way to make that product is obviously a parent. We know that you're doing that, and you have to think these other big brands also getting into the mix is a great thing for the sport and for protection. But I can guarantee that they have a lot of other things on their plate that are making them way more money.
Oh,
and that's what they're focusing on.
Yep.
So great for them to join in and make it accessible for people, but you got to think about the guy like you that's going out there to do one.
Oh, this is, it's funny that you said that, because I actually put out something where I said, I don't make sticks. I don't make tape. I leave that to Logan. I just do cut resist. That's all I want to do. We do have, it's funny because I do a program called Build a Shirt, because I was approached to do a garment and I didn't feel good about it because of just what we were talking about, that, Frank and I could be a medium, but my body's different. And the neck guard, when I put the shirt on, will fit properly. But say Frank is, I don't know, different. The neck guard's going to go down to here, same size shirt. Yep. So I started a program where parents order a shirt and the shirt has carbon fiber in it. And what it does is it stores body heat. So if a kid's cold, it always keeps you regulated. It's really quite something. So if a parent orders the shirt, they order a neck guard. And if they want wrist guards, they order wrist guards. If not, just a neck guard. So I sew all this. I custom make the shirt for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's, and so now the reason why also I'm glad I came out with this is because I have a new legging that I love. Like I said to you, I love technology. I love fibers. I love learning what's out there. And so this pant on a wicking scale is 5 out of 5. I'll send you a pair as well. So, we'll talk after. You're like I said,
David, you're rolling up my birthday, Christmas.
There you go. Logan, you got to tell me what you want, buddy. But
Logan's got to get his ass on the ice one of these days.
God, that's it. So, but But the pants, there's a wicking scale, which I didn't even know about, which is, it goes from 0 to 5, and the pants are a 5 out of 5. And when you
That's
try
awesome.
it, you'll understand. Yeah. So, there's just ways to improve and to do it right. And I appreciate what you said, Jay, because it's exactly how I feel. I keep plugging and I keep going to the tournaments and I'm going to Let's Play Hockey. Just to get the word out. And
we'll be there. So it'll be nice
Talking to us.
to meet in person.
We'll all be there.
fantastic. Fantastic, man. I look forward to that. That's great.
It's just like something we say a lot on this podcast, and it's like we've had the pleasure of having amazing guests so far, and hockey is a better place with you. Like you make it safer for these kids coming up. You make it safe for these professionals who provide us with unlimited entertainment. And I mean, for me and all of hockey, just thank you.
Thank you.
What you're doing is unbelievable, and the science and everything behind it it's so awesome that you've fallen in love with it. I mean, I pick up the same things now with tape and adhesives. Like I'm such a nerd about it now, and it's just so cool.
Well, you and I will talk adhesive because I won't be afraid.
I gotta say, some of the same as Logan saying, if you can't, just tell that you're obviously a stand-up guy and you're giving so much of your time and yourself to the game and to safety, and if you're not learning that hustling and staying persistent and curious and never giving up is going to get you somewhere, then you're not listening to the podcast. You gotta listen to this man.
Well, you know what? I just want to say one thing, because you mentioned, for entrepreneurs that are sitting out there. Listen, as I said, I was a friggin' actor. I didn't know anything about business, and I had an idea, but I surrounded myself with the right people, and all I could say is don't give up, because I always remember when I was an actor, I always was in class, no matter if I was working on a series or a movie, whatever, and they go, "Oh, great work," and I go, "No. Tell me what's wrong. How do I become better? I don't want to hear, oh, who needs that?" It's like, I want this to compromise because I want to see what I can improve on. And that's what I think for any entrepreneur out there, and that goes for Logan, anybody, don't give up. Just find what's working, solve the problem, continue, and just fine tune things, And at the end of the day, you'll feel so good. It's not given to you. You're working for every friggin' inch. And that's what I feel very proud of, that I didn't rest on my laurels. I didn't go, oh, 3's good enough. I went, that's not good enough. Let's go higher. And I'm trying to go even higher with comfort.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, it's very admirable, man. It's lighting a little fire within me. We all got some projects we're working on, and it's just awesome to hear. And your story is just amazing, and can't wait to try the stuff. And I feel like I'm wrapping it up, and I don't mean to, but I'm just like, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's so funny because I tell people, and that's the one thing I say. I said, don't buy my gear, but educate yourself. And so, like, when I send gear out to you boys, if you don't like it, I go, okay, we're hockey players, man. Yeah, I totally get it. So it's not for you. I don't take it as anything as an insult. I go, okay, they know what they like, and it's not my gear. That's fine. Just whatever you pick, do your research, because there's a lot of unspoken stuff they don't tell you about. I mean, and that's
I did a little sneaky research while we were chatting, and I didn't know the cut levels of the things that I bought, and I do now. And I didn't know the aftercare, and I do now. But
I'm just curious though, Jay. How did you find? Is it listed on their site?
It is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
We can, for the sake of not either, handing out free advertisements or talking any trash, we can, we pause here, I'm happy to tell you everything about it.
Is it yellow?
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah. David,
no comment.
No comment. Yeah.
Zip.
Oh, like in the movie. I got it.
That's called a callback. It's funny. I'm not that I'm an actor, but I'm behind the camera all the time. I'm a photographer, so I'm spending so much of my days in the studio and shooting and different people and different companies and every scenario, and I kind of have a little bit of the same. Like it's always nice to hear when people are satisfied with your work, but when people are saying, to me, I don't know, this is going to be a quick, let me wrap this up quickly. But like, and people are like, do you like it? And I'm like, this isn't for me. This is for you. I want to make sure you like it. If there's something you don't like, please tell me, because I want to fix it to make it as good as I can make it for you. When I'm working on my own projects, I probably like it about 90% every time is about when it's finished, I have to say that because otherwise I just would never finish them, because I don't think you ever like them. I think
but
still
you know what, Jay, you're an artist, and I know as an artist you'll never. Well, maybe
right.
I was never satisfied.
Yeah, and I feel like a bit of imposter syndrome always and forever, and
Hello, acting. You don't think that? I was waiting to get caught.
I always think like how have we made it these many years? And I mean, it's a very strange thing. I don't need to get into my life because this isn't about me, but I get it. It's funny world out there. But hockey has been the thing that it's been also a part of my life, and probably the most steady thing in my life thus far. So, brings us all together. Which is incredible.
Yeah, and also, I find what hockey was to me is because, I mean, losing someone at 39 years old was just, beyond tragic. And here I had a 9-year-old boy who I had to tell his mom was dying and the whole thing. And my hockey was my angst. Hockey was my escape. I was playing 5 days a week, just of the anger. And it was non-contact. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't playing like an a-hole, but we grew up on it. It's like therapy. It's your safety zone.
Place.
It's your safe place. We all have that. Hockey, it's like when you're having a bad day, you put on blades and you go on and just do this, and you're like, oh, I'm home. And that's
have you seen those videos of like, it's like a guy walking in his skates or something, and it's all this loud chatter, and then he steps on the ice and it goes silent.
Oh, really?
It's like, I mean, the first time I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that's it.
Yeah. But you see, this is we could all relate, even though we're all different ages, from different backgrounds, whatever. Hockey that's why, all this crap that was going down with USA and Canada. I mean, I get it, and it's good publicity and whatever, but we're all hockey fans. Doesn't matter, where you're from. We just want to see a good game. And we did, and that's the cool part. So
I definitely had a tough time talking to people on that one. They'd be like, who's gonna win this? And I go, I don't really care. This is gonna be the best hockey game you're ever gonna see.
You
called enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Well, David, everything in life is timing, and I feel like everybody's timing for key moments and events and different things that spark, just really shifts in everything we do. It's different for everybody, and I think that you have done such a great thing, and I think you really are on a mission in hockey, and it's kind of the perfect marriage of the things that you love always come to light. And I can't thank you enough as a hockey player and as a person for everything that you bring, and it's for the next generation as well. Jay's has a little girl. I'm gonna start having a family here pretty soon. Logan will as well, and what you're doing is really for the next generation. So we do thank you, and I can't wait to wear the stuff. I mean,
you boys are gonna be like, you're gonna get a nice package and whatever. Anything, just pay it forward if you don't want something. Whatever.
Always. Hey, we got some gifts coming for you too. So
Oh,
David, again,
tape. Do I get some tape?
You can get tape whenever you want. Stop. I can't thank you enough. Again, you've been such an amazing mentor to me throughout these stages of my life. And again, it's been awesome to have you on here, and so great to have your story out there to everyone.
Thank you. I really appreciate, I love what you boys are doing, and it's a pleasure. And I feel very blessed that you asked me to come on. I know, yes, Logan, we know each other, but doesn't matter. It's just a pleasure to talk hockey, and also a chance to talk about my gear and just be with 3 really good guys, just shoot the crap, because that's what it's about.
I honestly can't wait to talk to you again. Thanks, Logan, for making this happen. And David, you're just an incredible guy. Can't wait to meet you in person, and I hope we can maybe do this again one day.
I'd love it. When my laces come out.
Laces come out.
Boys, thank you.
All right. Thanks, David.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
What a great interview with David Nerman. Again, as you guys know and you guys can hear, what an amazing human. CUTSHIELD Hockey, doing amazing things in the hockey community, but more importantly, I think for the next generation of people. And yeah, guys, what'd you think?
Yeah, man. I feel like we kind of dumped it all out there right before, but what a guy, you know? Just seriously so honored to have his time and just let him tell his story. Really excited to check out this product.
Yeah. He's amazing. I had the pleasure of just knowing him for a little bit now. He's been somewhat of a mentor to me and kind of this whole crazy dealing with sports heads and everything like that. So he's amazing if you already couldn't tell. And yeah, the boys are all getting hooked up in CUTSHIELD. I think that's a win-win for everyone. We're getting protected and you're going to be styling too.
Yeah. And thanks again, Logan, for setting that up. That was really awesome.
Boys, always.
Just wanted to also throw in the fact that we're going to be starting a little page for Logan to see if we can fix his technical difficulties, because I just found out that, quick little story, Logan actually bought the computer on IKEA. So I just wanted to maybe just give us a little recap of how that happened.
Was it a floor model at IKEA?
You know, no.
It's crazy that it works. Those things are usually hollow.
You know, now I'm gonna cry. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I definitely mixed up the colors of IKEA and Best Buy when I was telling Frank, and I definitely got this computer from Best Buy on Black Friday deals. Refurbished MacBook Pro. It's a piece of junk garbage and dies on me in 2 seconds. But hey, $350, college kid, MacBook Pro. Boys, that's the Locker Room Life podcast. We are absolutely signing off on that note. Nothing to hear from me anymore.
We love you. We thank you for tuning in. Again, nothing but love from us.